Hi. Okay, this is the next part that we're going to be doing, obviously the shoulder area. Now we can't keep this because this is just awful. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to build a plane. Just use auto grid, just drag it out to the size of the top of this piece. And this is basically going to be our starting geometry. And I had auto grid on just in case you were wondering, by the way. Okay, convert to editable poly. I'm not even going to rename it yet. Let's just get on with our happy little modeling exercise. Very pure form of modeling this. The way modeling's supposed to be. Okay, grab this, 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 and this. And I'm basically using this as a topo map. I'm just going to build over the top of this for the time being. So shift and drag. Just to that. And then shift and drag down to here. Then all I have to do is grab here. Go to my left viewport for a minute. Go here. And as you see, it's done, pretty much. That's our basic shape accommodated. So, next, I can get rid of the old shape, because I don't really want it or need it at the moment. Before I do, let's create this shape off the back, though, where the magazine's going to be housed. So, get rid of this. See it? Oh yeah, and I'll assign my basic grey material, because it looks nicer on my eyes. There we go. Okay, now, over here. Go from here to here, just bring it all the way along in fact, and then hit connect. Now I'm going to straighten these two parts here. Now you'll notice if I straighten them too much it intersects you there, so the easiest way to avoid that is to also do a ring this way and do a connect. Now I can straighten these two, pretty much to my heart's content. There we are. You'll notice there's no pieces underneath yet. There will be soon. Let's just start building those in. Quick bridge. There we go, there's our polygons there. Okay, now let's tidy up this underside here then. So if I go through here, do a quick ring, and a connect. Do two connects again. That really gives us a nice shape for our side here. And over here, grab these parts. Because like I say, this will be more or less what our magazine is. Now I have to do a bit of trim work over here. So let's grab this edge. Do a quick loop. What I mean by trim work is it's kind of like flangification. It's a word that I make up. Trying to explain what I'm doing when I'm not entirely sure. What I'm doing is I'm basically moving this over here so I can trim out the shape of this somewhat easier. Okay, now this is the mount where our magazine's going to go, so I'm going to insert this. Okay, now extruding this by local normal. You may notice it's already gone wonky fresh, so let's sort that out. The last thing we want really is a wonky looking model. It looks like ass. And here, and I'll do the top half at the same time. Okay, and that's straightened that part out, as you can see. So now I can build the magazine off this. Okay, now we've got parts in here that really I need to hollow out. So what I'm going to do is grab here and here. I'm going to go all the way up to here and insert. Now we need to give a certain degree of thickness to our model. So I'm going to make it about that thick and click OK. And then I can kill that inside part there. And that's good because it means we can actually see this now, which is what I wanted. Okay. Now over here we have to open this part up. You see this kind of flap here. So what I'm going to do, almost as a kind of cheat I suppose, is I'm going to detach this as an element. That way it doesn't need a name. Just bring it out. Like so. And just rotate it a bit. Now, I suppose in an ideal world we'd be pretending that this is like all animated and stuff, but it isn't. Not even slightly. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this polygon here off the bottom. And this will enable me then to work on this part here. Cap it. You may notice that it's become a bit of a weird polygonal mess. It's okay. Just going to extrude it. And then I can do a cut in my extrude. So what I'm going to do is just select this element and find my hide unselected button. And then I can cut through it. And that should tidy our model a bit, and has. Okay, this one needs moving in as well. Okay, because this will come into its own later on. For the moment this part isn't really that important, but it'll look nice, and that's really all it's designed to do. Okay, let's get these verts all lined up a bit better. And I'll make this look a bit thicker. This is completely redundant, by the way. I presume its only purpose there is to stop, you know, shrapnel getting in or something. But nonetheless, there we go. Hide unselected. No. Unhide all. Yes. There we go. There we go. Okay, so there's the part that's coming off now. Now I'm just going to rename this temp flap. So detach as an object. And this is PF shoulder flap. Yeah. And now that I've detached it, you see I can make it go away. Which means I can work in here again. Now then, over here, what I need to do is unhide my main upper torso. The reason I need to unhide that wow, look at that. Didn't realise I accidentally twisted it or something. That's mental. Oh no, I seem to have accidentally twisted that. Let's have another look. Yeah, I have. Go figure. There we go. Not sure how that happened. Let's straighten it up a bit. There we go. Right, now the reason I've done that is so that I can line this up, obviously. So let's have a look at this. As you can see, this and this need to be lined up properly. So let's not unhide the hips, because I think this thing isn't actually on the hips anymore. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's been completely shunted out of place. I'm not sure how I managed to do that. Go figure. It appears to have been scaled up as well. I think what I'm going to have to do is export this arm and then re-import the geometry. So I'm just going to pause a moment while I fix this. Okay, what I've done is I've restored the last save, but I saved the piece that I just made using the Save As tool. Here we are, save selected. So basically I should be able to merge this in now. And here we are, shoulder1.max. And there it is. Okay, now let's unhide. Not unhide, let's hide the parts we're not working with. There we go, and we can get back to work on this again. Before we do though, what I was doing, now remember, I was lining this up. So I'll make sure this is lined up. Hide selection. You see, it's not essential, however, it kind of fits in with the flow of things, if you know what I mean. Unhide all. No. Just this piece. Okay, so you can see where this goes now. Now I'll move this along so it's a little bit needing to be moved. There, and that'll fit over there much better. Okay, I'm just going to move this out a little bit more actually. There we go, just so we can see the mechanisms. So, back to doing this again. Let's just hide the upper torso. And we can get back to work on this again. Now, what I'm going to do is build the inside for this. So, I'm going to bring this piece here back. Just hold shift to bring it back like that. And we need to build it so it looks fairly hefty. So I'm going to bring that to round about there. Bring that to there. I'm just kind of trying to follow the flow really of the way that the model has been built at the same time as building it around it. Okay, so we can see that part now. Obviously it's overflown, but that's not a problem. Press F3 and I'll start moving these in. It's quite easy if you just follow the geometry to see where each piece is supposed to be. Alright. Now these parts here, what I'm going to do is bring these up and then back a little bit. So grab here. I'm going to grab this one and this one. And while I'm doing it, then I'll grab this one and this one too. Okay, I don't want to grab them and take them too high, so I'm just going to take them to here. Get my two verts. Bring them to there. This means I can now close up this piece here. Then I'll straighten it in just a moment. Okay, there we go. Good thing about this is you see through the front now we can actually see the mechanism for the arm, which is something that we do want to be able to see. Okay. Again, just going over the shape here. Let's zoom in on this part. When I first used to use Max, I used to work a lot with the polygon tool, but I find really now that most of the things I do, I tend to work on with this tool. Okay, I'm just going to smooth that until it starts to overlap, like so. Okay. Let's grab here, do a weld. Just increase the threshold until it goes away. If I haven't got both verts, I'll try it again. Yep, there we go. Now we've got this vert here, which I'm going to need to tidy up in just a moment. Let's go over here to this part. Really still looking at the inside of our model, which means scooting around an awful lot. Do a connect there. Too many. Only want one segment. And I'm going to go from here to here and just bridge it here, do a quick ring, connect it, and then basically get it nice and close and do a target weld here. That'll close that part up. With any luck anyway. Zoom in a bit. Let's have a look behind it, see if there's any open polygons. Yes, there is, there's one there. Oh, of course, I'm trying to connect it to itself at the moment, aren't I? Delete that. Lots of lovely, basically kind of scooting around your model, doing stuff. There we go. Now it's just a case of bridging these parts together. There we go. And that kind of cuts down on this shape a little bit for us. Now what I'm going to do is bring this back here and here. So I'm just going to do this in perspective. Let's bring it to about there. Okay. Control A, select all the verts, just do a quick weld, that'll get rid of some of them. Don't want to get rid of too many because our model will just collapse completely, but it's going to get rid of some unnecessary ones in here, which is kind of what we want. Next I'm going to grab here to here, do a bridge. Okay, now I'm going to isolate this for the time being, and this will allow me to work inside it a bit easier. Okay, make sure I'm on the right one and bridge it again. Okay, that's good. I'm going to bridge here. Now you can see that this shape here is going to need some repair because it's not a great shape yet. Just move this up. And straight in. Good look at where I put this. There we go. Alright. Now this part here, I'm going to quickly border, and it'll give me an idea of how straight it is, or how not straight it is. Not bad, I'll just cap it. Now then, over here, I'm going to want to cap this hole shortly, so in order to do that, I'm going to bridge here to here. And I'm going to bridge from here down to here. Now you'll notice it's giving me this nice shape on the inside that I'm going to have to work out. I'm still not 100% convinced on this piece here either. See where it's kind of coming out like that. So I think I'll repair it whilst I've still got a chance. I'll just make sure the verts line up, just using the scale tool, and then bring it straight out. Use the X slider. A bit less. There, that'll do. Okay, jump back into perspective again. And what I'm going to do over here, I think, is do some target weld, just to kind of move this piece back to where it should be. Now you notice we've got vert in the middle of nowhere here, so no, we haven't. What we do have, however, is this part here, which we're going to need to fix before we go any further. Now you can see this polygon here is going to cause an issue at the moment. Let's clean that up. Let's get rid of that polygon there. And then we can move this in. These are all logistics errors, you see, and these are not errors. These are logistics problems. And the thing about a logistics problem is you need to get it sorted so that you can make your model look good. Take this one out again. A lot of the time that may mean going back and redoing parts that you thought you'd already completed, or had hoped you had already completed. Okay, take these two parts out. And the reason I've taken these parts out, you see, is now that I've extended this across, if I connect this to here, then this shape inside here is going to work a lot better when I cap it. It wouldn't work the other way around though, and we'd end up with a dead polygon floating in space. If you know what I mean. Okay, now up here. We can bridge that. Then we can bridge that. Then we've just got this space at the top here, cap. Yeah, which gives us a much stronger shape, as you can see. Now we've got that back piece there that I'm going to need to work on, so what I'm going to do is do a quick cut through this one. Let's say here to here. Oops. Do a quick connect. Don't worry that these ones are starting to bulge a bit. I'll fix that in just a moment. The important part for me is making sure this comes in flat. Now I'm going to grab here and here, bridge it. And this part here needs to be raised up a bit. Just a tiny bit. There we are. Now this back piece here, which I nearly moved without wanting to, I can now scale on the y-axis just to flatten it. No, not scale it in on the y-axis, obviously. And then I can do a little bit of vert tidying. There we go. It makes our model a lot easier to read when you're looking over it and trying to make adjustments if you do vert tidying on it. Okay, and hopefully you can see, sorry about that, I just had to scratch my ear. Hopefully you can see kind of how this is starting to come along now. Okay, let's go over here. And what I'm going to do is do an inset. Now look at those edges. Ew, they are awful. Let's do it without that inset. There, that's better. Not without that inset, without that part, I mean. Not bad. That's better, certainly. As long as it's not sticking out. Nope, it seems to be okay. Okay, so I'm going to extrude, or bevel this one, just out a little bit. There we go. So at the back we've got the ammo box. X isolation mode, just make sure this fits inside it. Yep, certainly appears to. Okay, let's unhide all. Oh no, there's no other parts hidden now, is there? Huh. Because of course I've got to rebuild this piece in here if I want it now. But that's okay, what I'll do instead is I'll just build it as a separate object, I think. So if I grab this and this, and shift and grab and move it over here, clone to object. This was the flap that we built, of course. Center the pivot to the object. Okay. Line it up to about there. Okay, and get my modify panel. Grab this one and this one. Shift and drag to there. Okay. Border it. Bring it out a bit. Not a bad shape. Isolate the selection. We can now go from here to here. Cap. Or bridge. Bridge is probably a better one. And the same again here. Do a ring, we'll just get the 3 verts, which is ideal because I can use a connect. And as you can see, they're so nearly lined up. Very nearly. Okay, so we can do now a Control A and weld everything. We've got one here. How are we doing on the bottom? Anywhere near? Not really. Move it along. Weld that one as well. Okay, that's not bad. Actually should move this one along as well. There we are. Okay, exit isolation mode. Grab this. Do a quick bevel. Bring it in. Can't beat a simple bevel procedure for making something look a lot stronger than it actually is. There we are, nice bit of simple plate. Like that. Okay, what I'm going to do now, in order just to fix this a bit more, is build a simple kind of cylinder off the top. So, delete this and this. Actually no, let's not delete that and that. Let's build it straight onto it. Grab here and here. And just look at this to see how the hinge is going to work on it. See, how the hinge usually works is it's just a thing at the top there, and this tilts out like that. Yeah? Actually, speaking of which, I should line this up a bit better because it doesn't look too good yet. That's a bit better. And it fits in like that. Actually, I don't think I need any real mechanism to show how it opens and shuts. It's just going to be in here. So let's effect pivot, center to object, reset pivot, whatever. Nah, center to object. And then I'll move it up here. Then I can decide exactly how I'm going to position it. Probably about there. Okay. Now I can attach this part on. Just look over it again. Yep, that's not too bad. Okay. Time for some minor detail areas just to be checked over on the back here. Use the insert tool again, which as you can see has done funky things to the model. Not in a good way either. Funny because sometimes the insert tool will work beautifully and other times it won't. However, most things can be sorted out manually, so that's not really a problem. There we go. As long as there's not too many polygons in the scene anyway. Okay, that's slightly better. I think it's partly the fault of the fact that that's actually wonking down a little bit. I love that term, haven't you? Wonking. Okay, just take this, do an extrude by local normal, straight in. Now you'll notice again it's doing the old wonky thing. Not to worry, we can fix that. Here first, then here, and here, and here, and here. See? Much tidier. Probably do with flatten this one in a little bit more. So I'm just going to flatten it completely and then rotate it probably by about 45 degrees or thereabouts. Then I can scale it up. Probably to about there. And then bring this in. Yeah, that's better. Let's have a look on this part. Let me see. I think I prefer to have some sort of mechanism for holding these in place up here. So what I'm going to do is build a box. Just have it come down like that. Okay, and I'm going to go into local view. Good thing about this is I only have to really create one, which is helpful. And we're going to create some redundant mechanism here. Convert to editable poly. Now insert this a little, and I'm doing that so that I can add some more nice shapes around the outside here. Oh yeah, better delete that back polygon too. Right. Grab here. Do a quick ring. Then a quick chamfer. And again, just to round it a little bit. Alright. Now this part. Quick bevel. Bring it in. And again. Okay, and that gives us this part here. What I'm going to do now is slide this down on the local to around about there. And just click OK because I'm cloning it to element. Go back here, hinge from edge, pick my hinge, maybe this one. Alright, let's add some segments in before we start. Then we can work out the angle I need, which is going to be that one. There we go. 14 segments. Turn back into perspective. Into bevel mode. Zero length out again. Got the wrong bit, hang on. It's quite hard doing this bit. It really does require a little bit more concentration, unfortunately. And then we can go straight in here. Now it's not quite 100% accurate, but that's okay, because we can make it accurate. Line it up, there's one. Then at the back, there's another one. Now, on this we can add a bit more level of detail as well. Because I really hate it when you get this kind of shape. It's far too angular. You want to give the impression that there's an interesting shape here, and this really isn't it, so ring. Don't loop or you'll make a horrible mistake. Okay, chamfer it. And again. Then if I select these, okay, and I can loop those, and I can extrude them. Just bring in my base width a bit. Just click OK. And that gives me that shape, which I think you'll agree is a lot nicer than the other one was. Then it's just a case of grabbing the entire shape. Do this in view now. Move it to here. Okay, now we can bond this into place. So firstly, let's attach these pieces. Now I'm going to get rid of this one and that, because that was just a tool that we needed at the time. Now I'm going to grab here and bridge. I mean, you can go all the way around because it's only 4 sides if you really want, depending on how much spare time you've got. I haven't done a 4-sided bridge in ages, so, you know, it's a whole new exciting novelty for me. There we go. That's one. This also gives you an idea of why it's important to make sure it lines up as well, by the way. I'm going to do the same thing again on this side. Just bridge this. We could actually bridge a border on it, and as you see, that'll work too. Now all that's left to do is to make sure that this part here is linked into the top. So I'm just going to border this. Well, not border, bridge. Bridge there, there. And then up to here. And as long as these have been built on this surface here, which is what we did when we used AutoGrid, Then when we cap it, it'll all work, as you can see. Okay, so this is stage 1 of the upper shoulder complete. I'll see you in the next part.